think the whole purpose of this is again to retrain myself on how to write, to recognize what I'm doing wrong. Also to teach people, like if they know less than I do, I guess help them out. But again, to just get me to have to write. So on Wednesday, I'll at least write like 30 minutes or something like that. This is actually one of the stories I wrote while I was living in Canada. Keep in mind, this is like 8 years old or 7, 8 years old. And my writing's at a different place. So I hope it's not too bad. It's like it's like when you look in an old yearbook and you see your comments and you thought you were really clever in the like back in the day, and then you realize that God, that was cheesy. So I imagine it's probably gonna be like that, but I have not actually read more than the first paragraph since I took it off my old flash drive. So I'm gonna be reading it with everybody else. I'm not gonna read this out loud because this is not story time. I'll blow up the chat so you can see it. And I actually stopped writing it because right after I came up with this idea, somebody in Hollywood made a very similar idea, but they made it a romance novel. Basically, the idea was what would happen if they could actually reverse a zombie plague, and the people who had the zombie plague could just be normal again. And I got this idea because zombies were popular and everything, and I was thinking to myself, you know, it'd be neat if they were not zombies. What would you have to live with after you became not a zombie? The movie came out, and they made it where love revealed everything, and zombies became human again. I don't know, because of love, whatever. And I kind of lost interest in my story. I was like, this is a stupid idea, and now if I try to use it, I'll get sued or whatever. So I didn't do it. So I left it alone. I quit. You should never quit stuff. So this is supposed to be written in first person, and it's supposed to be in this perspective of an office worker that got transformed into a zombie, and she didn't get really eaten. She just sort of died, and then she became a zombie. And so this is her, wow, 17 pages. So this is her trying to go back into society. Okay, that's an interesting opening. Oh, complex, like, it's got a nice sentence in there. Oh no, I forgot. Oh, I'm a doofus. Wow, that's interesting. There we go. Oh no! Why did I use brackets? Who was I? I hate brackets. Don't want to admit to the things they continue to do. I don't think I don't like about this Google Docs is it like it makes my little like tab things not work, but it's good. We good. When the first tank came rolling into the business district. So that when I find stuff like this, I always do this around my text so that if I want to replace it with an actual word like Sampson Square or something like that, I'll be able just to search for this symbol because you don't use it in ordinary writing. I was disemboweling a straggler. Straggler's not the word. Oh boy. I don't need that. Try not to use the same sentence pattern back to back. It's kind of boring. Bam. Sort of fixed it. Probably could do it better, but we'll fix it for now. What would they call themselves? Huh. To overturn the dumpster. It was stuck. Like, please. He tried to let us eat him. A little girl ripped off his arm. Wow, that's weird. About our hearing. Eager for for a hot meal. For another hot meal. I was diligently slurping down the rest of the man's stomach. That's some funny stuff, man. I miss. Again, to thicken. And so the reason why I went ahead and moved this is to try to give it a little effect, because it draws attention to how important or significant that event had. Survive. See, it sort of messed up the punchline when I added all the other stuff. I don't know what I did that for. Tank came into view shortly after. I learned later that all the living had by then had been vaccinated. Mask because of the smell. It clearly wasn't the first time he had recited that speech. It turned out to be his last. So vague. Who's he? A few of the dead fell, but he was sick. With their first act of freedom, they had chosen to kill one of the men that rescued them. My stomach turned as I watched them. It rumbled. How about that? Gosh, old me, what were you doing? As far as I could go. But they ignored me. But they just as quickly ignored me. To do. Allowed to do. Uses the virus inside the virus ate away at them from any remaining skin ruptures within seconds, and muscle soon follow. I called out to him, "Stop, please don't come near me." I don't think he stopped then. What does it make any sense? He laughed. There we go. Murdering his remaining eye. Oh, that's interesting. He smelled heavily, though he wore no cologne. The thought disturbed me. I was smelling him, and at the same time imagining what he tasted like. I shook my head and clenched my teeth until I blocked the thought out. "How'd you make it out alive, sweetie?" he asked. "I was hiding with my friends in a dumpster. They turned it over and I ran. They were chasing me when the tank started firing." He eyed me suspiciously, his instincts likely telling him something was off about me. "Hell of a lucky coincidence, you know. We flew over the city at least 10 times looking for survivors with thermal cameras. We thought we picked up all of them." You missed us, I said, looking down. Didn't you hear the helicopters, the announcements to go to the rooftops? We couldn't, we were surrounded. He looked at me again and shook his head. You're different. Pardon me? You came back today, didn't you? Yeah. No, I was howling and we dropped the act. I was in one of the first units deployed after the outbreak. I know you're kind when I see them. I've never seen one of us with as much self-control as you. They still try to eat your face off weeks after they come back. You move different, a sort of tick that gives you away. Yours isn't so bad. It is more apparent in those who have been dead longer, though most people don't notice it. The central nervous system never quite regains its fine-tuning. Each mundane movement is a little off, too slow or too fast. Please, I couldn't stop it, you have to understand, I said. I felt tears, real tears, begin to cloud my eyes. There's no need for that. Hush up, I won't turn you in. Hell, if they let you through without a chip, no one else is likely to notice. What gave me away, I asked, looking down at my body. I was thin, but only a little smaller than I had been before I died. There were a few scrapes and bruises, but nothing out of the ordinary. Your eyes, you blinked too slowly. What? This entire drive, you've only blinked 3 times. What does it matter? What would they do if they found out? First of all, they'd cut up that little card they gave you. In fact, technically, you have no rights. Then anyone can kill us, anyone can hurt us, I asked. Relax, I have a wife, and I have a daughter about your age. He was silent a long stretch of time. I didn't dare ask him what happened to his daughter. She's one of you, he said. And you don't consider her to be your daughter, I asked. He looked close to tears and looked forward. She didn't come back the same. We had to put her in one of those homes. That's sad. Coupled with the continued urges for human flesh, imagine a nursing home full of former dead. Don't tell anyone what you are, ever. I don't want to see that happen to you. I don't want them to put you in one of those places, or for you to end up in one of those neighborhoods. We'll have to put an actual town name here. I gave him a quick hug and an awkward kiss on the cheek. He looked terrified, like a man preparing to be eaten alive in death. Remember, he whispered, don't tell anyone. No one you know, no one you meet, not even your relatives. It's not safe. I finally let go and got out of the car. The porch. And then he took off. I concentrated hard. I had to stop myself from chasing her. Where'd they pull you out of the sewer, she asked. You're lucky, you know. What? Next Wednesday. Do you have something in your eye? I stopped forcing myself to blink and did my best to smile at her. Well, I think that was it for tonight. It was really fun. I'll try it again some more time. So I think in the meantime, I'll try to think about where I was going with this. It's really good so far. I thought it'd be a lot worse. I was kind of worried about what I would find. I had to fix a little bit, but I mean, the idea was great. I'm kind of sad I stopped writing it, but I can see why I stopped writing it because it was very similar to what the movie was. This is like a very dark version of that. So I don't know where I want to go with it. I think what I was going to do is make her be a hero of the story. So I wanted ideally for her to settle down and have like a nice normal life until some horrible stuff starts happening. There's obviously some foreshadowing I put in there about how the old dead didn't hurt the new dead, so she's supposed to have a role in some adventure where they fight the old dead or some kind of a failed trial or whatever. I did take this from a Word document and put this in Google Docs so I could actually stream it because Word would not cooperate with my streaming. It's okay. It's good for today. All right, bye.